Welcome in. Welcome in. It is Wednesday. I am live. Probably means this is the Wednesday live chat where for the next hour or so, however long it takes, we go through your questions, your concerns, your comments. We look at data. We use logic. We use reason. We show tools and visualizations on my website. We talk about the weather. I don't know. We just talk about whatever. But today's a special day. We've got a couple of special items. We are going live in just a few moments. I'm vamping here. This is a professional vamp to let people get in and get started. Everybody's always late. We are going to draw the winner of the John Daly Rick Run Good Splash Contest. So the winner here in just a few moments will be revealed, who will get an all expense paid trip to play golf with John Daly and I. What a world. What a world. This is from the Masters and the RBC Heritage contests. There are over 13,000 entries, which is crazy. I don't know if we expected that many of them. Not necessarily that many unique people, because people had multiple entries. So we'll get to that in just a second. But again, I'm letting everybody funnel in here. If you have your questions, your concerns, your comments, get them in the chat right now. As we do this, I'm going to remind people that on our newly launched Second Cut podcast, and if you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm in a hotel room right now because I'm in Cromwell, Connecticut. We played a shamble yesterday over at TPC River Highlands, a little early reconnaissance for the travelers in a couple of weeks. Michael Breed, Joe Musso, Greg Ducharme, and myself shot a 58 and got lapped. I think we finished fourth, 17 under par, 53 was the winner. Yikes. There's our scorecard. We have a video up on that YouTube channel and in your audio feeds. Michael Breed joins us. Greg Ducharme is there. We walk through not only our day, tell some good stories, but then we do cover the Byron Nelson with our mega preview pod as usual. So head over there. Links in the description. The link for everything that you need is in the description. Rock and roll there. All right. Have I vamped enough? 3.5 minutes into the show, letting everybody funnel in here. We're going to pick a winner. We're going to find out who is going to play. I'm nervous. I'm nervous for this. Who is going to play with John Daly and I? Now, it's down and dirty. Here's the spreadsheet. We tried to throw this into one of those, creative wheel of names or whatever it is, and nothing we found could handle the nearly 14,000 entries. So we're going to do this old school. You can see everybody's, username and everybody's first name and the state that they're in. They're all in here. Thousands and thousands and thousands of entries. Okay. So what I'm going to do is very, very simple. I'm going to do this one time. I am going to randomize this range, right? So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to randomize this range. And whoever is at the top here, whoever is in row number 2, right here, across from that's more orange than I wanted. I wanted gold for like a winner. Yeah, that is who wins this. And then I'm going to pass that information over to the boys at Splash. They're going to reach out and coordinate this. Right. So that's how we're going to do it. I believe I have vamped long enough. I can't wait any longer. I'm very nervous. We're 5 minutes into the show. All right, let's do it. For the John Daly Rick Run Good trip and round of golf. I'm so nervous. Here we go. I'm just going to randomize this once. Whatever name's at the top wins. Oh, the suspense is killing me. 3, 2, 1. Mitchell from, is that Ontario? Canada? I don't know. Craven _ Moorhead. Mitchell, congratulations. You are going to be teeing it up with John Daly. Oh, yeah. I just figured that out. You got me. You got me, Mitchell. You got me. Congratulations. Oh, this will be fun. Imagine that guy with a username like that and John Daly and myself. We are going to rock this thing. So congratulations. Thank you again for all who participated. That's the kind of cool stuff that I love that Splash does. And hopefully we'll be able to continue to do. Just stellar idea when that was presented to me. And yeah, just absolutely great. So Mitchell, congrats, brother. Passing that back over to the boys at Splash. Take it from here. Take it from here. Let me know where to be and when to be there. I'll be on the first tee, ready to rock and roll. All right. We've got a couple of items that I always like to do before we get started here, so we can always refer people back to the beginning of the show. I like to look at the weather. I like to look at the one and done ownership. Let me be the bearer of bad news here. The forecasts don't look so good. Okay, so we have torrential rain and storms today, Wednesday, nearly 2 inches of rain. They're almost certainly going to be playing preferred lives probably all week long. Thursday looks a lot better, right? You're getting those, mid 80 temperatures, very low winds, small chance of precipitation. And then Friday, we've got thunderstorms. We've got, a 25 to 70% chance of rain all day, forecasted for over 1/4 of an inch on an already pretty wet golf course. I don't want to say Monday finish. I don't want to. I don't think it would have to. You play all day Thursday, you get most of Friday in. It depends. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit sloppy. You might get some stops and some starts throughout the week. If you are looking at who this impacts, course is definitely going to play longer. The again, with the almost certainty of preferred lies, you're going to get guys who play out of the fairway, bump them up in terms of value, bump your approach players up in terms of value. It is going to turn into a TrackMan competition, and the winning scorer, barring they're not playing through this, and the wind doesn't seem to be a huge issue. They're going to go low. It's going to be a very soft golf course, going to be a very receptive golf course, going to be a golf course that these guys probably destroy, right? That's already in the card. So that's what we're looking at here. One and done wise, this is the actual site-wide selections from Office Football Pool, which is part of the Splash brand, right? Office Football Pool, run your pool. That's underneath Splash Sports. We've got the actual site-wide ownerships, and there are 4 golfers basically at the top. Pretty even distribution here. Jordan Spieth at 15.5%. He's the most popular selection. Sung J M at 12.5%. Benny On at 12%, and Siwoo Kim at 11%. So those 4, the only 4 above the 10% mark, leading the way. Completely understandable. Jordan Spieth has the second shortest odds. If you're in the top probably 15% of your league, you should probably just be rolling out Jordan Spieth. If you do not want to roll out Jordan Spieth, you could roll out almost anybody here. I like Ben On. I like Siwoo Kim. I would go to Jake Knapp. I have no problem if you wanted to try to catch Ryo Hisatsune at 2%. I have played Ryan Gerard in a handful of one and dones. I have played in one of them. I have played Alejandro Tosti, and now I'm way behind, and I'm trying to make up ground. But that is what I'm trying to accomplish here, is basically just about anything, especially if you're chasing. There are 50 guys that you could play, and you would not get much of a concern from me. Okay, before we move on, we are going to focus on your questions, your comments, your concerns. We can look at the live field. We can look at the PGA, obviously the PGA Tour field. We can look at one and done and outright bets or top 10s or whatever, or we can look at daily fantasy. I have to remind you again, my partners over at DraftKings, now a play free for your share of millions in prizes. All you have to do is download DraftKings Daily Fantasy app and enter promo code RickDFS to play free for your share of millions with your first deposit. That's RickDFS for new DraftKings customers. Just download the Daily Fantasy app. The crown is yours. Armina doesn't like when I say that. I like to say that one. I like the tagline. It's a pretty good tagline. Obviously, I've been using the DraftKings salaries for my shows for 10 years. So I don't need to give you the personal anecdotes. They are there on a week in and week out basis. All right. Let's get to work. I've got to go to the airport later, but I've got time, and we are ready to roll. Kyle is going to kick us off here. Hey, Rick, I'm currently in 4th and 1 and done. Pool Genius, great tool. Link is in the description. We get a big discount. Says my best are Spieth on Siwoo. Yeah, well, they're going to be popular as well. Or should I go Bridgman or Knapp? If you are 4th and you're 1 and done, assuming there are more than 12 people in it, Kyle, I am probably just rolling out Jordan Spieth for a couple of reasons. This is obviously a very good course for him. It is probably the last time this year that you are going to get him as the second favorite, I would imagine. He has not answered all the questions for me, but he has answered enough of the questions. Everything you're seeing here is my website, rickrungood.com. Like the way he's been driving it for nearly 2 years. The approach play is still kind of all over the place, but high upside, and then the putter has started to round into form. So I'm quite pleased with the way that Jordan Spieth sets up for TPC Craig Ranch and just the future in general. But you're probably not going to get a better number on him in terms of implied odds. If you are near the top, you just rock and roll. Hey, Rick, thanks for all that you do. Thoughts on Griner jumping from JT to Morikawa right after a huge win? Well, I think that was probably JT's call, right? I mean, remember, Griner was filling in for Matt Minister, JT's caddy, because he hurt himself. So I don't think the plan was ever to be a full-time bag for Griner and JT. They win. Good problem to have. Now, Colin is going to go with Joe Griner, and I've showed this a lot over the past handful of months. Colin Morikawa has been the best player. I'll pull up his profile. Has been the best player since 2024, since the start of 2024, without a victory. He's basically the third best player in the world in terms of total strokes gained since January 1st of 2024. He might be fourth, he might be fifth, but I think he's like third. I think it's Scotty, Rory, Colin, Xander, all just like in that top four. All those other guys have a ton of victories. This is a very interesting change to make. JJ Jakovic is awesome. Probably one of the best caddies on tour. He's not going to be unemployed very long. Colin just needs a different voice trying to get into the winner's circle, but it's not like he hasn't played really, really well. So yeah, it's fascinating to see. Sometimes you just need a change. I get it. Mitchell says, how much homework are you doing to have to figure out who you have left for one and done in the second half? Not much. I kind of keep track of that as the season goes on. Can you run a model weighted on scoring? Okay, so here we go. We're going to run a model here. Let's get the custom model up. I'm working off my laptop, so bear with me here. We are going to run Mitchell's model. And this is going to be the last 36 rounds for Mitchell. You can run this for any weights that you want. So we are going to go 20 on birdies or better, which is under scoring, but I did not clear it. There we go. Birdie or better for 20. We are going to go eagles per hole. I don't think I have eagles per hole, so I'm going to put 30 on birdie or better for you. Oh, you are just piling up. You are just piling up on a lot of birdie or better stats. All right, so let's do it like this then. Let's do it. I'm going to get a little creative for you here. 15 strokes gained off the tee, which is here for for 15, and then 15 on approach, and then 15 on putting. Okay, this is Mitchell's model. I got a little creative for you, Mitchell, here. Scotty Scheffler, nearly a perfect score, 97 out of 100. Big gap to golfer number 2, 86. Nikolai Højgaard, Lee Hodges, Ryan Gerard, Pearson Cootie, Alex Smalley, Jake Knapp, Victor Perez, Jacob Bridgman, and Rio Hisatsune. That is Mitchell's card. Colin says, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the live pricing on DraftKings. Yeah, they screwed this up. I don't know what they did, but they fat fingered this. They have Bubba Watson as the most expensive golfer, $11,300. Bubba Watson, not the best player on Live Golf. Patrick Reed and Tom McKibben are second and third. Rahm and Neiman are fourth and fifth. Brandon Grace is seventh. Then you go down to the 6K range. Brooks Koepka is nearly minimum price. He's only $200 more expensive than Anthony Kim is. Bryson's down here somewhere. $7,200 for Bryson, $7,300 for Caleb Surratt. These are all mispriced, right? Sergio Garcia, $7,100. They screwed this up. They inverted this or something. Not a full inversion, but like Phil Mickelson is $9,100. He should probably be $6,800, right? Terrell Hatton is $86. He should probably be $96, $99. So they screwed this up. Now, what you can do is you can just run lineups in the custom model off of this, right? And you're going to probably get a lot of, make sure to change your settings to open up the salary range, because you're probably going to get a lot of a lot of lineups, excuse me, that leave like $5,000 or $6,000 on the table because you could get Bryson Brooks, all these cheapos. It's going to be weird. I don't know. I don't know what else to say other than this is screwed up, and you're going to be able to make a lot of really good lineups. But yeah, they messed it up. Can we get a deep dive on Eric Cole? Feel like I haven't heard much about him this week. That is from Thomas. Yeah, let's see what Eric Cole's been up to. He played in the Zurich with Sam Saunders, and as expected, I think they finished nearly dead last. Outside of that, though, on his own ball, it's 4 straight top 25s. Okay, so this is actually a good call here from Thomas. So what we have here is Eric Cole. If you look at the entirety of his career, Eric Cole does 2 things really well: approach and putting. He's not a very good driver. His short game around the green play, it's okay. But the approach and the putting, which makes him a very high upside golfer, those are starting to get back into form. Picked up strokes on approach in 4 straight, has picked up strokes putting in 3 out of 4, which with the 3 that he's gained in, very, very good numbers. And the one that he's lost in was a smidge, just a nip below 0 there. So all really good stuff. And this is the week you want approach and putting, right? Golf course is going to play very, very long for Eric Cole, but I think the pathway for him to make a lot of birdies is there. That is a pretty decent call. Shout out to Armina from Cody. Yeah, she's the executive producer of the Second Cut. She's a producer of Rick Rudgood, but I think I put my finger on the scale a little bit more on the Rick Rudgood side of things because I've been doing it so long. But she is she's the EP for the Second Cut. She makes all the final calls, the graphics, the schedule, everything, and she crushes it. I mean, the way that we have fun and get the job done, she's been a rock star. So yeah, thank you, Cody. Can we get a deep dive on Norlander? Yeah, indeed we can. That's Henrik Norlander. I don't want to lose my cheat sheet here. All right, Henrik Norlander played with Luke List at the Zurich. I think they played well. Yeah, T4. Okay, so here's what we've got on Norlander. A ferocious team no putt golfer, but has now picked up strokes putting in 3 out of 4 that were measured. Probably putted well in Punta Cana, where he finished T18. We don't get the breakdown for that. Probably putted pretty well at the Zurich with his partner Luke List, who also cannot putt, for them to finish T4. So there's a pretty strong assumption that he's probably rolling the rock a little bit better, and it is leading to some better results here. So even with the partner group, or even without it, 3 top 18 finishes in his last 4. Let's look at his history around here. Remember, this is weird because when you click the CJ Cup Byron Nelson tournament history, you're going to get CJ Cup stuff and Byron Nelson stuff. They mashed this event into one, basically. So Henrik has played at TPC Craig Ranch 3 times, each of the last 3 years. A miscut, a 34th, and a 64th. Although I will say this, outside of last year, he's been a very positive putter on these greens. So it might be a really good sign. You guys are coming up with some really good deep dives here. Let's see if Daniel can keep it going. Matty Schmid seems like a boom or bust option, but booms on similar courses. Okay, so let's look at his booms. Okay, let's look at his top 10 finishes and just kind of see where they are. Punta Cana, Puerto Rico, Shriners, Black Desert, Puerto Rico, Alfred Dunhill, Bermuda, Andalusia, Stadium Course at American Express. That goes back to the start of 2023. Are there similarities here? Shriners, Birdie Fest for sure. Black Desert, Birdie Fest for sure, but it's desert golf. You kind of have to keep it in play more. Punta Cana and Puerto Rico, I could pick out some things. Bermuda, same thing. Yeah, it's not bad. Listen, I think that like a better comp would be, I don't know, like Detroit Golf Club or something like that, or some of the, like the Puerto Rico one's not bad, but yeah, that's. Let's see what he's been up to lately. I was just looking at his top 10 finishes there, so everything looks good. In between those, miscut in Houston, Texas, and the Players. Probably not for me, Daniel, but I see where you're going with this. Hey, Rick, can we see who are the best course fits? Yeah, so if you go to the course fit model, remember, this is only year 5, so we only have 4 years of data on TPC Craig Ranch. It's an approach, it's a putting week, it's a driving accuracy week. So when you take all of those regression model values and you assign them to the golfers for the last 36, here are the best adjusted course fits. Scotty Scheffler Henrik Norlander, believe it or not, Sammy Valimaki, Ryan Gerard, Hayden Springer are all top 5. So another notch for Henrik Norlander there. Bond. James Bond. Hamil says, love you, Rick. Love you, Hamil. Can you take a deep dive into Rasmus? Looks like everything apart from his driving accuracy is great. Well, already that gives me a little bit of a red flag, right? I do love Rasmus though, just in general. But let's take a peek. See here. His iron play has not been very strong. His putter has not been very strong. Are we talking about the same Rasmus? Or is Neergaard Peterson in this field? He's been struggling with the irons. If he's going to be inaccurate, I don't mind that. If this was a hot, dry week, I would not mind that. I think they're going to get 2 inches of rain today, and I think they're going to play preferred lies, and I think the rough is going to be incredibly penal because it's going to be wet and nasty, and you are not going to have the benefit of picking your ball up. So I think that driving accuracy is going to be more important this week on a golf course where it's already, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the par 4s and par 5s favor accuracy over distance. So now you get into a situation where, excuse me, when I run the values after this week, it's probably going to be more than that. Good first round leader. My goodness, excuse me, I got this little, the allergies here are the pollen. Oh my God, the pollen is absolutely destroying me. So let's do this. Last 80 rounds, got to have at least 40. I will exclude the senior tour rounds. Everybody in this field, sort by strokes gained total in 5 or more. I'm sure Scotty's going to be up there. Rasmus is up there. Rasmus and Scotty have picked up 5 or more strokes to the field, the same number, the same frequency. Now, Rasmus's are a little bit on the weaker side of events, right? You've got, oh, look, they're showing an ad on Golf Channel right now for Mark Immelman's podcast. On the Mark with Mark Immelman. Keith Mitchell, right? Keith Mitchell has been an absolute first-round destroyer. The problem for Keith is that the rest of the golf tournament exists, right? A massive upside golfer. So let's just look at his round ones. Round 1, Keith Mitchell has not lost strokes in the opening round since Pebble Beach. Since then, he's been +3, +4.5, plus a smidge, +5.5, +5, +8, +5.5, plus a smidge at the Zurich event. So the last 4 opening rounds playing his own golf ball, he has gained roughly 25 strokes to the field. Pretty good. Walker, Mao, or Super? Who is Super? Oh, Super. In a tier play, I think it's Danny Walker. Okay. Favorite 3 guys between 6,800 and 7,300. How much time do you have to anticipate taking off after a day with Daly? I think I just retire. I think I retire after that because I'm going to need the full maximum amount of time to be able to recover from what I am being told is going to be a very good time. All right. Alejandro Tosti is 7,300. That makes the short list. Sammy Valimaki makes the short list. What are we going down to? 6,800? Chris Goddard makes the short list. And then I think that might be okay. Flyer on Takumi Kanaya. Look at what Tosti's done on his own golf ball. 5th, 12th, 2nd. Very strong metrics across the board. Sammy Valimaki has been awesome, again, on his own golf ball for a lot of 2025 and has 4 straight top 36s, 3 straight top 18s, including a 4th. Goddard is laying the breadcrumbs here, and he has an elite skill set. The problem with Goddard is that if and when they play preferred lies, which they're almost certainly going to do, maybe all week long, he misses so many fairways, like an ungodly amount of fairways. He's 178th on tour. He's missing more than half his fairways. It's too much, especially in an event where you're going to lose the value. And then just the pure dart throw. Takumi Kanaya, just talent after the Zurich is a thing. Talent after the Zurich is a thing. Thoughts on a heavy top 20 card, then outrights with Scotty having such high odds to win it all? Yes. So couple of items here. I was looking through my database yesterday or the day before, and I could not find another in the last 6 or 7 years, another golfer that has odds as short as Scottie Scheffler in a full field event. Actually, I think I have it here in my newsletter. So I send out a newsletter every Wednesday with a lot of just like silly data nuggets or whatever. You should probably check that out. Do I have? Yeah, here it is. So these are in my database, all the instances of golfers who are 5-1 or shorter in full field events. So yeah, of course, there's Tour Championship, Hero World Challenge. That stuff we've seen shorties. Not like this though. Full field events, Houston this year or last year, excuse me, Scottie was 3.6 to 1. Charles Schwab last year, Scottie was 3.6 to 1. So Scottie in 2023 at the Byron Nelson was 4.6 to 1. We're just in very, very low range here. This is very, very short. So yeah, I a lot of my exposure, and I've done such a good job of this in 2025, is like, outrights being a smaller portion of my betting card, and the matchups, the top 10s, top 20s, top 30s, top 40s being a much larger portion of it. And in a week like this, you might get Siwoo Kim at 30 to 1, and he might play great golf, and you might just get buzzsawed by Scottie. David saying that a tornado and severe weather risk is possible all week long. That's right. We've chatted one and done Jay Steele. I'm spreading it across the board, but I'm playing with, if I'm playing from the lead, it is going to be Spieth. Let's run a model. So here's a good question from Philip. Create a model however I want, adjusted on what we know about weather. All right. So let's do this. What I'm going to start with is obviously getting the weighted strokes gained in there, because that's important. We're going to do 30 there, but I just want the best players, right? And then what I will do is put an emphasis on driving accuracy for 20. I will then put an emphasis on strokes gained approach, last 36 rounds for 20. I will then put on long golf courses. It's going to play even longer for 15. And then our final 15 is going to go on. It could be a putting, it could be putting, bonus putting, or it could be something like birdie or better. Let's just do birdie or better. Birdies are better gained. My model now has Scottie Scheffler number 1, Ryan Gerard number 2. Gerard models beautifully, by the way. Zalatoris 3, Rico Hoey, Siwoo Kim, Ben Griffin, Lee Hodges, Jacob Bridgman, Alex Smalley, Chan Kim. You could conceivably make a lineup that was Scheffler, Gerard, Hoey, Hodges, Bridgman. What would that leave you left? That would be a pretty good start. Is it crazy to pick Scottie again? Oh, after hitting on JT and trying to win the segment in a one and done. Craig, entirely depends on, like, are you in the lead of the segment? If you are, and the segment payout is worth it for you, do it, right? You have to kind of decide that. This would be the only scenario in which I think playing Scottie is viable, right? I mean, if you have 3 segments and a third of the payout comes if you win this segment and you're already in the lead, sure, play Scottie, something like that. But a lot of personal preference there. My PGA Tour fantasy team has been in, I swear, 292nd or 297th for like 10 straight weeks. I feel like there's almost a glitch. I cannot move up. I cannot move down. I have been in the 290s for the entirety of the year, it seems like. Is 13,300 the highest price on DK ever? No. It's pretty high, but technically not, because you've got Tour. I remember the first time they did the staggered start in Tour Championship. I think that Justin Thomas was like 15,500. It might be the highest for a full field event. Let me see if I can run this really quickly. Scottie at Harbor Town last year was 13.3, so he tied that. So this is yeah, it's basically tied for, and that would have been a signature event, right? So that's not even a full field event. Scotty was 13-3 in 2024 at the Charles Schwab, which would have been a full field event. So Joshua, it ties the most expensive ever for a full field event in my date. Do I have more than that? 2000? Oh, I do have a little bit more. Hold on. No. Okay. Yeah. So I've got it like 7 back to 2016 or 17. And that ties. So good call there. Sleeper for this week, someone that is sub 5% owned. My brain immediately went to Toasty. So I will scroll down and see what he is going to be at here. 8.6. He does not count. How about, well, let's do it this way. Let's sort by projected ownership so that I don't have to scroll through. Okay. So sub 5%. I'm going to play by the rules here. I wish it was better weather for Goddard. He would definitely be on the list at 4.5. Gim at 3.5 is not bad. I'm not sure he's going to be the answer, though. Gosh. All right. So Jesper Svensson, I find to be really interesting. I guess is it still Goddard? Maybe it's Gim. Goddard or Gim. Sorry, I couldn't decide there. How hard do you have to focus to say second cut in the intro and outro of the new pod? Very hard. Very hard. 1,600 times in a row, I did not say the second cut. And now I have to say the second cut. It's very hard. I will probably screw up at some point, but I have not yet. And I'm proud of that. Thoughts on Griffin for one and done. This is one of those, like, from a statistical standpoint, great. From a mental state, in which I'm not going to be able to get into, you always wonder what happens to a guy the week after his first win, right? We see the slumps all the time. Joe Highsmith. I mean, there's like 5 examples of it this year alone. But I like Ben Griffin. If you like Ben Griffin, do not let me stop you. Do you support riding your core if you aren't playing many lineups or being as diverse as possible? I'm a core rider. Yeah. Did TPC Craig Ranch renovate grasses, and when? Some confusing articles, and I'm wondering if we'll see any major movers in adjusted course fit around grass. Last year, or is this the first year? So now it's rye. Hold on, I might be able to find this. I might be able to get this really quick. Yeah. So still the bent grass on the greens, but rye everywhere else, I think, is all new. Let me see if I can confirm that. Since last year, fairway, tree work, irrigation, new tees were added on 6 holes. Might be the second year. I would have to look through my research stuff, but yeah, I think it first or second year. How does your DFS strategy in tournaments versus double ups or single entry? If you're playing with a lot of other people, being different is important. If you only have to finish inside the top half, you can be a lot chalkier. I think I answered this, Kevin, or maybe I answered a different range. So I'll go to the range that you're looking for here, which is the $7,500 to $7,200 range. So that would be Isaiah Salinda stands out to me. Obviously, Alejandro Tosti fits into both of those groups. And then Davis Riley. Davis Riley's been quite good. Davis Riley and Chris Goddard, I think both are like laying breadcrumbs, I say, right, where they're showing signs of good play again. The problem is Goddard, I think, gets hurt by the weather more than Davis Riley does. I think Riley's a little bit safer. Why is Sam Valimaki still priced so cheap? Yeah, I mean, because he's not a household name. He hasn't won anything yet. But yeah, he's been a great darling. How do you feel about Gary Woodland? And will you be at the PGA Championship? Yes, I will be at the PGA Championship all week. Like literally, like Sunday to Tuesday, right? Like the Sunday before. So I'll try to get out there to quail on Monday. Early if I can, but I've got, Mondays are always hard. But and then I'm staying till like the following Tuesday. So yeah, I'll be out there all week long. I believe the CBS Sports setup that we have is on the driving range. So if you're looking for us, we'll be around there. Here's Gary Woodland's card. It's not pretty, right? I mean, it took a career putting week for him to finish second in Houston, and he's not a very good putter, and the rest of his game's kind of weak as well. It's tough for me. One and done, top 5%. Do I run out Knapp this week or look at him on Griffin? Do you have Spieth available? Are those my only options? If those are my only options, you're okay. Any of them are fine. I like Knapp a lot. I'm probably a bit more bearish on Sung Jae. I'm bullish on, but I don't know if me being bullish on surpasses the Knapp stuff. And then Griffin's kind of a question mark for me. So probably Knapp. Brand new subscriber to the website, loving it and the content. Thank you. Yeah, listen, I always say this, but I'm always working on a lot of things behind the scenes. I've got a new data construction that is going to allow you to basically filter view like anything you want, any combination of things you want. You can already do a lot, but like the stuff that I'm brewing, it is brewing. It is brewing. Soul Smoke, this is my guy. I'm hitting Live Golf Korea day 1 this Friday after Guns and Roses in Songdo, Incheon. Is there anything you want to hear about from Boots on the Ground? First off, I think Korea is like top 3. We were like top 3 for us of like where we want to go. We went to Australia last year during the off season. I think Tokyo is high. South Korea, the love for golf in South Korea is like I have got to get there. In terms of boots on the ground, I don't have anything in particular. I just want you to have a good time. Go enjoy it, man. That sounds like a hell of a 2-day run that you are on, and hopefully we can connect. Maybe this winter. I don't know. Korea is definitely top of the list for me. That would be so sick. Trace Crow has been playing pretty good on the Corn Ferry Tour. What does his player profile look like? So here's an ad for rickrungood.com. Not only do I have the PGA data, but I've got the Corn Ferry data, the Senior Tour data, the Live Golf data, the Asian Tour data, and the, what am I missing? DP World Tour data with strokes gained when there are those in place. So we can see that Trace Crow has gone in T8, T15 in his last 2 Corn Ferry Tour starts. With a partner at the Zurich, he finished T4. Puerto Rico was not great. He started off well and then struggled, but he made the cut and finished 72nd, and then a T20 in a Corn Ferry Tour event before that, T19. So yeah, that is pretty good. Has he played this before? I feel like he has. He has. Wasn't very pretty. He missed the cut last year. If that makes you comfortable, I'm okay with that. Oh, Taylor Montgomery. Great putter. Would need to be doing something incredibly different. Yeah, this is not good. So we've got 4 missed cuts in a row. His best finish, which is this T25, was probably the best putting week of his career. And that's saying a lot because he's a great putter. Let's see. Picked up 10 strokes putting that week. My God. No. 2022, he had an 11-stroke putting week in Napa. But this is, and I love Taylor Montgomery. He's a Vegas guy. I root for him. His dad is like the GM at Shadow Creek. I would love it if Montgomery played better golf, but this is about as bad as it gets. The miscuts, the hemorrhaging on approach play, the historically great putting week that only gets you a top 25 because you lost 6 strokes from tee to green. This is about as bad as that profile as it gets. Good morning, Mr. Run Good. I think that's me. Can you rank these players and how you like them in GPPs? It's Valimaki, Salinda, Lee Hodges. Hodges, Sammy, and Salinda. I pretty much like all of them though. I need that Taylor Moore breakdown. Back from a brief injury stint, carried Wyndham last week, despite the missed cut. Let's look at Taylor Moore. Texas boy, isn't he? Oh, I didn't want to do that, but that's okay. So miscut the Valspar, which was not the worst, like right on the number. Prior to that, a lot of really good golf. He's driving it so well. He's driving it great at Sanderson Farms, which was a long time ago. I worry about this here, HV3. I worry about the approach play in a week like this. I'm not super excited yet, but I'm getting more excited. I want to keep an eye on him. I want to see what Taylor Moore is up to. Which international? Oh, Jose says no American player has won this event since 2018. Aaron Wise. I miss Aaron Wise. I hope he's doing good. Which international player do you like the most to win this event? Well, I will tell you, I've bet Siwoo Kim. Siwoo Kim and Ben On, I think, are both pretty interesting. That's probably it. Well, on the short list, right? I mean, do I think Rasmus wins? Probably not. Mackenzie Hughes has, been sneaky pretty good. Steven Yeager. Okay. I want to show you Mackenzie Hughes' profile because I think it surprised me even when I saw it. Where is Hughes? Here he is. Look at what he's done here. And we know this, right? 3 events in a row, gaining strokes throughout the bag, all 4 categories. 36th at Valspar, 10th in Houston, 3rd at Harbor Town. His history here, not that good. A miscut, a 14th, and a 41st. I have not been a big believer or investor of Mackenzie Hughes probably since the President's Cup. But this is the best golf he's been playing. The last 2, he's picked up 13 strokes from tee to green. A lot better than you thought, isn't it? Who in this field would Greg say is a mutter? I don't know. We'll have to ask Greg. I got to make up ground in my one and done. I'm going with Sam Burns. Why not? Listen, if you have to make up ground, like I said, you can pick any one of 50 golfers. The Sam Burns stuff, I think, is a problem. He's hemorrhaging strokes on approach, which is usually one of the better parts of his game. That's been since the fall. This is bad. It's really bad. I hope, again, I love Sam Burns. I hope he plays better. I hope Taylor Montgomery plays better. But man, these are some tough numbers we're seeing. Do we get a producer's pick of the week? Yeah, she said Michael Thorbjornsen. She put it in the chat. You can't see it, the private chat, because she's probably chilling at home right now. I'm certainly chilling at home, and I'm in a hotel. So here's Thorbjornsen, runner-up finishing Punta Cana, 4th with Carl Phillips at the Zurich. She's going with Michael Thorbjornsen. Potgieter, Aldrich Potgieter is the bomber, right? So is he better or worse than Chris Gotterup? I don't know the answer to that. Probably longer, maybe. This is a problem, I think, because he doesn't hit a lot of fairways. He, despite having a floor of 3 or 4 strokes gained off the tee, the rest of his game, fairway through green or approach through green, is not strong enough. He needed that runner-up that he had in Mexico. He picked up 9 strokes putting. He has not sniffed anything close to that since then. He's like 20 years old. Yeah, I was gonna say he's 20 years old. He'll figure this out, but man, I don't know. Not great. In on Toasty, in on Valimaki, out on Woodland Mason. Last man in is Hoey or Kevin Yu. It is Hoey for me. I'm gonna run Drew's model for him. So this is going to be Drew's model. Drew. 20 on weighted strokes gained total. Okay. 20 on birdies or better gained. Okay. 20 on total driving. Sure. 20 on strokes gained approach. Last 36. And 10 on bent grass putting, 10 on course history. This is TPC Craig Ranch. They're in alphabetical order. There we go. This is Drew's model. Scotty Scheffler, number 1. Just always a statement, I have to say. Steven Yeager is 2. Jordan Spieth is 3. Rico Hoare, Siwoo, Zalatoris, Schmid, Hodges, Springer, Riley. I kind of like this, Drew. Drew and I are simpatico on this one. Thoughts on Pendrith this week? The problem is he's not playing as well as he was last year entering this event. And I think that his pricing or his value, or however you want to put it across the industry, is definitely a little bit inflated because he did win this event last year. The short game has been miserable. The tee to green game coming down because of that, just not giving himself enough opportunities. It also says, what do you normally invest each week across the board with golf betting? So at this point, I definitely do more betting and fantasy than fantasy, but one and dones have taken a lot of my, like I'm in like 15 one and dones, anywhere from $100 an entry to $2,500 an entry. So that takes up a lot of my time. I like to play like the single entries or the 3 maxes on DraftKings. Then I will fire 2 to 3 outright bets. And then I try to keep that very tight. And then a multiple of that on finishing positions and matchups is usually the way it ends up running. Weeks like this, though, where I'm, traveling and way behind, like not as much. Okay. Hayden Springer is the question, and he popped up somewhere. I think he was on the Course Fit. I think he was on, so he's played really good golf. So he missed the cut in Houston. That's it in 2025. Started his year off strong at Farmers, has made every other cut. 2 of his best 3 finishes are in his last 3. Houston and Zurich, both were top 18 finishes. And he's a really good course fit for this place. Missed the cut here last year. I don't mind Hayden's. He's not very accurate, though. Long but inaccurate is the problem. And he's a 3-putt liability. Maybe he's not that good. Just kidding. Will Morikawa's old caddy go to Homa? Probably not. JJ, no offense to Max Homa, but JJ Jakovic is like now going to be free agent number 1. And if you're free agent number 1, you are not going to the bag of a guy who is lost. JJ might get a top 10 bag or a top 15 bag. So, no. I would be very surprised. All right. I'm at the end of the questions. We can do a little bit of rapid fire. I got a couple more minutes. I got to go to the airport. But we can do a little bit of rapid fire if you want. I can remind you, did we fill the splash contest yet? I'm messed up on our listener league, fully guaranteed 15,000. It's got to be full, if not close. Let me see. Oh, no. Okay. There's still 100 spots or so to go. So let's fill that up real quick here. This morning, that is available to you. What else? Go to rickrungood.com, subscribe for that. I think that would be a good idea. My newsletter is 100% free. The second cut stuff. I mean, we've had such a good time doing this on our own, and I think we're going to continue to do great stuff. But okay, I guess we're at the end. I guess I will talk to you guys soon. I have some nice surprises that I'm going to be unveiling in the course of the next few days. And I think that's it. I'm off to pack up my stuff and head to the airport. Mina, shut it down.